If you stumbled across this video and have no idea what AP is, first off, hi, I'm Logan. For the past couple years, we've been running an online apparel company, but unlike most other companies, none of the products we carry are actually ours. We sell secondhand military surplus, kind of like a thrift store, but instead of your uncle's old football jersey, it's an iconic Swiss 10-pocket jacket. Although selling surplus is what got us here, and we have no intentions of stopping anytime soon, we've always wanted to design our own clothing with a military and vintage American workwear-inspired style. But I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. It was a drab, stormy night when I got a DM from a vintage dealer. It was about an old jacket he had for sale. Instantly, the piece caught my eye, and I knew that I had to have it. I bought it, and once I got the jacket, I wore it a ton. Its raglan sleeves were super comfortable, the rib-knit cuffs kept me warm, its pockets worked great for carrying gloves, the list goes on. But most of all, its aesthetics screamed Americana, evoking images of the days when American factories hummed along day in, day out. The days when American clothing was made with skill, intention, and pride, not with cheap materials and cheap labor overseas. Needless to say, I was inspired. But inspiration is not enough to get shit done. There were a couple pretty big questions at this point, like who's gonna help us design it? Where are we gonna source the materials? Are there even factories here that can make it? And perhaps most importantly, can we afford it? At the time, the company was barely making enough for me to get by in my parents' basement, and definitely not enough to design and produce an American-made jacket. This American-made jacket idea was great and all, but things like rent and eating were a bit more important. If I wanted a chance to make this happen, I was gonna need some help. Introducing Aiden Olson. He is Americana Pipedream's CFO, and without him, none of what we do would be possible. Aiden joined the company just a few months after it was founded, when this project and even our first warehouse was only a pipe dream. Together, we were the marketing team, customer service, fulfillment, R&D. We wore all the hats, something that any entrepreneur is very familiar with. At first, we focused on surplus, Army field manuals, and knives, trying to market our fledgling brand to the world. And one day we woke up to a viral video, and another one, and another one. Fast forward a couple months and the company is doing better than ever. If there ever was a time to run with our jacket idea, it was now. The first step in this process was figuring out what the fuck to do. How do we take this concept and turn it into something wearable? Well, turns out I had absolutely no idea. So we found somebody who told us that they did. They had no idea what they were doing. Things started off really promisingly, hearing things like, oh, this is such a cool project, your first sample is gonna be done soon. By the looks of it, our jacket would be ready for production by like the end of 2022. And as it turns out, that was just blissful ignorance. Actually, I was going to learn that anything worth doing is never that easy. It's here, like a kid on Christmas. I opened that package, I finally had it in my hands, and wow, it's so, doesn't fit, collar upside down, plumber's crack, looked like ass. Welcome, Jimmy. What was your reaction to the very first sample of the jacket?
It was terrible. Collar was sewn on backwards, had giant ears like Dumbo. We had a pen pocket that we renamed a jewel pocket. That didn't even turn out right. The material was great though. The material we hit on the head, the colors were amazing, but the vision was kind of overrun with how much time we put into this, with how many things were still messed up with the jacket.
Fast forward a couple weeks and we had a new sample, and guess what? The collar was sewn on correctly, so that was great, but everything else, it was the exact same. For the next couple months, we played what you can only imagine to be the most depressing game of package ping pong ever. Sending back a sample, every time getting another one that does not meet our specs whatsoever. Since we were so smart, we decided that paying a monthly subscription service to a design firm was the best way to do this. So over time, development cost was really racking up, and morale was kind of in the shitter. Everyone at the company thought that this was a terrible idea. Will we ever actually be able to release it? Is it even gonna be something that'll sell once we do release it? I had to fix it. It was just going nowhere. Specifically, the one problem that just never went away was how boxy the collar looked. For some reason that we couldn't figure out, this never changed. No matter how many times we told the design firm to like, hey, make that collar look more natural. That is the sticking point. If that doesn't get fixed, we can't make the jacket. And there was a real fun surprise about that just around the corner. Yo, Jimmy, I'm gonna be at the warehouse for the next couple hours. I can't stop thinking about the jacket, and I'm gonna see if I can figure it out. All right, so I think I figured it out. The collar was sewn on straight instead of at a slight curve, and that was giving it the boxy fit. So we got that solved. That's good.
So we fixed the boxy collar problem. We still got a long way to go. You know, sizing materials, finding a factory.
Yeah, we're gonna need a little bit of help with that. What was it like when you first started working at AP?
Well, I think it was fun. It seemed really cool that your friends start a business and you get to join the whole thing. But once I saw the project, it got pretty crazy. You know, nothing was lining up, making sense. So, that's why I'm here, make everything work.
What was your first impression when you saw the first samples?
I thought it was cool. I'd never seen anything like it, so that was interesting. I've never worked with outerwear before, so it was a good challenge. There was definitely some fixes that need to happen, basic design elements that just weren't working. But once we got over that, we kind of tackled all the other pieces, like finding sourcers for fabric and zippers and buttons and things, but yeah. What
were your thoughts about the design firm we were working with for the first part?
And they were an interesting group. They never emailed us back. They were hard to get in touch with. They would send us stuff and then charge us a bunch of money. It went fine for a while until we really needed some serious stuff changed, and then it just kind of went downhill. I ended up doing research on them because I joined the project after they were hired. I did literally looked them up on Reddit and found out they were scamming people. So that was kind of when we decided not to keep working with them. But I think it was like a learning curve. You don't know how to do something until you do it.
So true, Nicole. After we fired them, me and Nicole went on a hunt to find ourselves a new U.S. manufacturer, and then we met Steven. And if you've seen our interviews with Steven, you know that he is the GOAT. Back in the 90s, he manufactured for Supreme, and he's been in clothing since probably 60 years ago. And of course, with 60 years of experience comes a lot of connections. And he was able to hook us up with a lady named Priscilla at Bait Apparel down in Texas. And Priscilla was able to iron out the last kinks in our design and get us our pre-production samples. From there, it was pretty much smooth sailing aside from actually acquiring the materials. But we were able to get custom camo fabric printed, sourced corduroy, the lining, and even Wisconsin-made rib knit for the cuffs and the waist. After 3 years of prototyping and designing and actually learning how to make clothes, it was finally done. Introducing AP's first ever original apparel, the McGrath Bomber Jacket. As you may know, every quality garment starts off with solid materials, so let's walk you through them. The anchor of this jacket is its mid-weight 10-ounce cotton canvas, a material that has been used in hard-wearing clothing for centuries. Cotton canvas is a very versatile material. It can be waxed to repel water, its tight weave can protect you from thorns, sharp edges, and even wind. Of course, because we are a company that loves both military surplus and vintage clothing, we decided to print this canvas in East German Blumentarn, a rare and obscure camo pattern that was first introduced in the late 1950s. We reproduced it using an original sample to replicate the pattern and the colors, but you will notice that our jacket is off color compared to Originals 1 because it's newly printed material instead of being 50 or 60 years old. And number 2, we did not treat the canvas with the same waterproofing materials that the East Germans did. On the inside of the jacket, you'll find a lining made with 4.5 ounce French cotton twill. More than anything else, the lining is designed to be comfortable. This French twill is soft to the touch, breathable, cool, and also durable, meaning it will last the entire lifetime of the jacket. Other fabrics used in the jacket include corduroy on the collar as an homage to early workwear where corduroy was often used to line collars just to give people a little bit more comfort throughout the day, and rib knit, which we use in this design to insulate your cuffs and the waistband to keep heat in. As a bonus, the rib knit cuffs also make wearing a watch pretty comfortable. In terms of hardware like zippers and snaps, we decided to go with all metal components made by Talon. If you're familiar with vintage clothing at all, you will have definitely heard that name before because Talon has been making zippers since 1893. Clothing companies have shied away from using all metal components mainly because Plastic has become so much cheaper and more widely available, but we decided to use metal because it is longer lasting and more durable, and quite frankly, it looks cool. Metal zippers in particular are a lot more durable than plastic zippers, but they will require more care, such as lubrication. In terms of the features, it's a fairly simple jacket. You got yourself a grand total of 5 pockets, 1 on the interior, perfect for holding a phone and stuff like that, and then 4 on the lower torso. 2 of them are snap cap flap pockets that can be secured so your stuff doesn't fall out, and then there are 2 other ones right underneath those that are more like hand warming pockets. You can just stick your hands in there or throw something in there if you really need to. Kind of going over some of the stuff we already touched on, obviously we have a full zip front with snap caps as well so that you can get double the protection. There's also a locker loop on the back of the neck so you can hang up the jacket real easy. That's pretty fresh. Another really nice feature about the pattern of the jacket is its raglan sleeves, which give you a lot more mobility than the typical boxy fit of many other jackets. Another really great feature of the jacket is that wherever we could, we double or even triple stitch the seams, meaning that you have much longer lifespan of the garment. Maybe the biggest thing with this jacket is that we decided to make it here in the United States of America, something that the clothing industry has shied away from for the past 30 years since tariffs dropped and we added China to the World Trade Organization. All that shit went overseas because, newsflash, it's much cheaper to produce clothing over in China. That begs the question, why would we choose to do it here where it's more expensive? Because our name is Americana Pipedream Apparel. Also, we hosted some polls on our story and on our Twitter account and asked people whether they would prefer to pay a little bit more for USA made versus paying less for something made in China, and you guys said you'd rather pay for the USA made, and quite frankly, I believe you. So we decided to go with USA made, not only for this jacket, but for all of our original apparel into the future, for as long as people will remain willing to purchase it. On top of that, we're also able to support the very last American manufacturing companies that are actually still doing this stuff here in the United States. And over the past 30 years, the American apparel industry has been absolutely gutted. I think we lost maybe 90 to 95% of our textile manufacturing capabilities, which, quite frankly, is unacceptable. I have one final closing message. We have never been so back. The McGrath Bomber Jacket is now in stock at Americana Pipedream. You will find it on AmericanaPipedream.com in sizes small through double extra large for $240. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you're going to absolutely love our line of USA made apparel, and this is only the beginning of something that we hope will be absolutely huge.